develop very close relationships with, and who actually they kind of engage an awful lot of the graduates coming out of there. So to tell us a little bit more about the company is Richard Harman. So please welcome Richard.
I'm Richard Harman from Freyner-Reifer. First thing I have to do is apologise for my colleague Michael, whose name is in the programme, not being here. He's in a taxi on the way to Heathrow. We have to go because we're running a bit late. He was actually meant to be doing this, so I'm standing in for him basically. As Alan just said, we're in the Alps, in a small town in northern Italy, and been around for 35 years, and gradually developing more and more in terms of international business, not just working in South Tyrol, where we come from. You can see all those bespoke constructions there, the mountains, so maybe that's a bit of our inspiration. And there are the gentlemen concerned, because it's very much a family-run concern. Mr. Reifer on the right is the man who develops all the technical solutions. And Mr. Freyner is the one who travels around the world trying to convince people they're not too expensive, basically. And this is what we do. We're not interested in doing everyday, normal, standard solutions. We look for specialist solutions to big challenges presented by well-known architects, finding out what can be done, not just accepting what is done already, but constantly trying to push back the boundaries. That's our headquarters in Alan said Brixen, which is the German name. It's a German and Italian speaking area, so that's the Italian name up there, Brescia. And that's new headquarters from about 3 or 4 years ago. And at the moment, as it says there, we're involved in projects from Hawaii, Sydney, from Paris to Pitztal, which is in Austria, which is you'll see a picture of it later. There's a cable car station up on the mountain, 3,400 metres and down in the valley, and that's a project we just got some good news about last week, so we're quite happy about that one. So here, as it says in the introduction to this section of the presentations, we're talking about project-specific solutions that we've developed that then get used on a bigger scale on that project. You'll see what I mean when I come to some of the examples. We've got examples of realised projects and ones that are still under construction or in development. So this is, many of you may know this one. It's perhaps not such a well-known image, but we did the facades for the service buildings for the new BMW World in Munich, Kuhkammerbau, and what we basically got from the architect was a Rhino model, and we developed all the 15,000 square meters of individually designed stainless steel panels ourselves, the execution design with high quality detailing. So in that sense, this is a special solution that's been mass customized because there are so many of these panels on this project. And this is another one we did. It's a temporary opera pavilion that traveled around, I think just Germany, but possibly to Austria as well. Again, Kuhkammerbau, based on, inspired by Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix, according to the architects. And acoustic modelling produced, that's what Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix looks like, basically. And that gets taken down, put up in various places. I've actually seen that one myself last year, travelling past it. And this is a Vitra house, which uses our Minimo system, which again is a specialist solution, which has the narrowest elevation width of any system, and is being expanded to be able to be used in more and more different applications. So this is a kind of, it's not a product, it's an element, it's a component, but it's one that can be used in this kind of mass customization way. It can be adapted into various structures in various ways. It's possible to have it in aluminium, steel, wood, but always with the 3mm face with. This is our only project so far in London, Hills Place, which I walked past today on the way here in a big hurry and looked at for 2 seconds. With the curved aluminium, again, specialist solution. That's something that, for example, our Mr. Reifer, he develops the solution and then other people start executing it, but he follows the progress of the development of the solution and how it will be practically applied through to completion on every project. Obviously, he concentrates more on the bigger projects, the ones with bigger challenges technically, but even after 35 years, he still oversees the work of our draftsmen in developing these solutions. Maybe you're familiar with this one. It's just by Oxford Circus on the south side as you're going towards Tottenham Road, if you want to have a look at that one. And this is the Dolder Hotel in Zurich with Foster and Partners, and this one involves 3 or 4 different types of what we call forest motif screens. So you can see better on the next picture. With water jet cutting, and there's 4 different patterns, and that's another example maybe of something that's developed, how to do this in our production plant a bit further down in Italy, and then applied on a much bigger scale throughout the whole building. I'm just running through a few of our projects here, just so you can see what we've been doing recently. And I should point out at this point that I'm the man at Frainer Reifer, been there for 8 years, who does English translations and marketing and so on, so I'm not really a technician, as you can probably tell already. But this is recently completed, last year, it's up and running, and you can see the stacking system, lots of technical challenges there, again, developed as a concept, and then worked on with the architects and put into place. This one's maybe a bit confusing to see, but it's actually meant to be house der Astronomie. You can probably guess what that means if you haven't already. It's based on a spiral galaxy form. I know it's going too fast. And there's Novartis campus building, again with a specialist sun shading system developed with the architect and applied on a big scale. And this is BMW World, again, but a smaller construction, the bridge with the 3 dimensionally curved stainless steel cladding, developed in the way that a car manufacturer would, but applied to bridge construction. And this one's maybe quite appropriate today. Probably can tell that's an Apple store, even though it doesn't say so. We've worked on quite a lot of Apple stores. There's Beijing. But that's again our all glass staircases, which are, yeah. And this one is the one that some of you talking to Michael over lunch. This is in construction at the moment, or just starting, the Pathé Cinema Museum in Paris. And this is the original design, modelling by Renzo Piano, and some of our mock-ups there on the right, which again, specialist solution, and there's all kinds of material, there's glass, there's steel, there's aluminium, there's wood, so making that work for this project, which is going to look pretty impressive when it's finished, I think. And here's the one I mentioned before. This is Wildspitzbahn, the one in Pitztal in Austria, working with Professor Karl Baumschlager-Rutter to develop this. Again, conceptual modelling, developed in close collaboration with actually an ex-AA student, Mario Handler, who's got his own practice in Innsbruck. He's been doing some 3D modelling for us on this project. And this is at 3,400 metres, so very difficult challenges to overcome in terms of material delivery. There's 3 months when you can deliver by helicopter and things like that. Otherwise, it's too much snow, it's too cold, you can't do anything. So that's a very specialist solution which we've been working on at great length for most of this year, with final success last week. So we're quite happy about that one. Now, a few more details about one project in particular, the ThyssenKrupp headquarters in Essen, in Germany. And just to sort of go through the process of what happened on this project, this is the original design by these 2 architects, Shea and Noël in Paris, and JSWD from Cologne. Here's the sketches by the architects, by the French architects, about how they wanted the sun shading system to work. So received these and got to work, and Mr. Riker got his pencil out and started analysing what he would do. Based on that was what it was meant to look like when it's completely open at the top, completely closed at the bottom, with the various stages in between, following the course of the sun throughout the day. And this is what a workspace is meant to look like. You can see the sun shading system in operation as envisaged at the beginning of the process. That was what was required. And there was a long period, 9 months, of developing the solution, working out the details, testing everything, building the functional models, the prototypes. That's Mr. Framer on the left down there, inspecting the prototype in front of our headquarters. And this is what it actually looks like now it's built. Those are the interior spaces with the sun shading system. You can see it actually does what they wanted it to do. And there's a close-up view from the outside. 9,000 square meters, custom design, produced stainless steel sun shading levers. Those are the lamellars, and that's the finished building. That's what it looks like. And I think it's already won an award recently at LEAF for the sustainable technology in a modern building. And here, just to talk very briefly about how we work together in terms of industry collaborating with academia. As was mentioned, we have a technical school nearby, and a lot of our technical draftsmen come from this school. Some have been with us now for 30 years. We've got lots of experience talking about the craftsmanship. A lot of the people in production have been there for 20 years, 25 years. Every time you go to the Christmas party, there's another person who gets a grandfather clock. I've been there for 30 years. So that's something, it's very much a family-run company, and it carries on with that tradition, even though we've expanded recently. And we like to have lots of local expertise from South Tyrol, from this school, from places around. It's not a very big province. It has 450,000 people, so a lot of our technicians are from South Tyrol. So here we can see this is the design to metal workshop that we held in our HQ 2 years ago. And that's Tobias Walliser, who's the Academy of Fine Arts in Stuttgart, and some of his students. We also had students from Professor Werner Solbeck from ILEC, the Institute for Lightweight Constructions, all getting a feeling of working with metal, having the metal under their hands themselves. And this, in the wrong neck in the middle, is Professor Achim Menges, and he's from the Institute for Computation and Design in Stuttgart. And he came to that workshop as well with his students. And these are just some pictures of the students working on various prototypes, designs, inspirations, concepts in our workshop for a couple of days. We do a lot of things. And there's Michael, who's meant to be here on the left, enjoying the model. So we have very close, and this is one that we developed for the Glass Tech in 2010 in collaboration again with technical departments of German universities, especially from Stuttgart. Yeah. We like people to come and visit our workshop and show them what we can do. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Richard. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, so we've made a switch. I'd next like to introduce you to Anna Winstanley, who's the Director of Research and Innovation at what I think is the UK's largest private contractor, Lang O'Rourke, here in the UK. Anna directs the Research and Innovation Group at Lang O'Rourke and one of their subsidiaries called Explorer Manufacturing, which has a focus on flexible